officially appointed, and just say that you're electing them to serve subject to proper appointment by council. Does that make sense? So I apologize. Greg, you got a question?
No, the math adds up.
Yeah.
I was doing that in my head. I was going through.
Yeah.
No,
So it's just, and it has to be unanimous vote, because it has to be a majority of the entire body. So,
We can do that without Steve?
yes, you have 4.
Okay.
So when you take action, 4 of you have to act. So, when you do an election of officers, then it should be shown to be unanimous.
So Dennis, Bill, Greg, and Tyler are correctly appointed.
Dennis, Jack.
Jack is as well.
Great.
But Bill's not.
Bill has not been appointed,
Okay.
and Barb was appointed by the mayor. That should be an appointment by council.
Okay, the one question I still have is you said something about the 3 council appointments as
Yeah.
city
And
employees.
it has to be elected officials, appointed officials, or employees of the city. So the 3 that the council's going to appoint is Tyler's an elected official.
Bill's
Barb-
an employee.
Bill's an employee and an appointed official for the Board of Works,
Okay.
and Barb is an employee through Phyllis.
Oh, okay. All right, that answers my question.
Yeah. So, trust me, Phyllis and the mayor and I, that's why I was almost late, because we're trying to piece this all together and figure out how to do this, so apologize, but that's how we're doing it. Huh?
I love the gray area.
I'm just trying to make sure.
So does Mr. Baker.
No, I don't like gray area.
You don't like gray area?
Yeah, because that's where you get in arguments in court over the gray area.
Yeah. Or that's where you get a job, I meant to say.
I'm trying to avoid getting into court, let me tell you.
That's right.
Okay, so does that make sense to everybody? And I apologize for the confusion. So,
All right.
all right? Greg, you look puzzled.
No, I'm visualizing this, and I've got my arrows, and it works.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, we're ready to go. You want me to call the meeting to order since... All right.
I make it legal.
Okay. This is the organization meeting of the Plan Commission, so we'll call it to order. I'm Tim Baker. I'm attorney for the city and represent the Plan Commission. We have a quorum present, and at this time, the first order of business is an election of officers. I'm going to move that up ahead of the approval of the minutes. Currently, the officers are Barb Engel is the chairperson. And Greg, are you vice?
I'm vice chair.
You're vice chair. And then is Sharon the recording secretary?
Correct.
Okay. So I will point out for the record that if you choose to retain the existing officers, Barb will be reappointed to the Plan Commission this evening by Plan Commission, so if you wish for her to continue to serve as chairperson, it would be with the understanding that she is formally appointed this evening by council. So at this time, I'll open the floor for nominations. You can nominate individuals for each individual office, or if you wish, you can nominate a slate of officers for all 3 positions. If it's a nomination for a slate, if there's no other nominations, then, at that point, we would get a second. If there's no other nominations, I would ask for a motion to close nominations, get a second on that, close nominations, and then vote for the slate of officers so nominated.
Floor is open.
Floor is open for nominations.
Well, I'd like to nominate the slate of the 3 current officers that we have.
Okay, is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Okay, are there any other nominations? Is there a motion to close nominations?
I'll make a motion to close nominations.
Is there a second to close nominations?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor of closing nominations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All those in favor of re-electing Barb Engel as chairperson, Greg Kitson as vice chairperson, and Sharon Brown as recording secretary signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So, Barb, go ahead.
Well, should I go ahead or should...
We'll let Greg as vice chair. Yeah, you will defer and let Greg.
Okay, so it was a 4-0.
4-0 vote, that's
Okay.
correct.
Since I'm not officially
Yeah,
appointed.
we'll defer and allow Greg to conduct the balance of the meeting then.
Okay, with that out of the way, would like
I just went
approval
down this way.
of the minutes of the previous meeting as distributed earlier. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as distributed?
I'll so move.
Second?
I don't know if I can second because I wasn't,
Second on the minutes.
even though I wasn't here.
I'll do second on the minutes.
I have a second.
Okay, we have a first and second on the minutes. All in favor to make the minutes record, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that was a 4-0 vote also. The proof of publication is being passed around. Everybody should have had an opportunity to see it now. Tyler's already seen it, I've seen it. So do I hear a motion to make the proof of publication a matter of record?
So moved.
Tyler's made the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Jack. All those in favor of making the proof of publication a matter of public record, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's a 4-0 vote also. One other matter of business that we need to take care of for our organization is the selection of the attorney for the Plan Commission. Tim Baker is currently the attorney. He is also the attorney for the city of Decatur and the Board of Zoning Appeals, among other things. So, do we have any discussion on the attorney for the Plan Commission?
I think Tim's done a real good job of keeping us on the straight and narrow.
Any other discussion? Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion that we retain Tim Baker as the attorney.
Second?
Second.
Tyler seconded, Dennis made the motion. All those in favor of retaining Tim Baker as the attorney for the Plan Commission signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's a 4-0 vote on that. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
We have old business in front of us, although it's not really old business, which is the addition out at Cross Creek, but they haven't officially submitted it.
That's correct.
So do we have anything to discuss about that, or was this FYI paperwork?
Just FYI stuff.
Okay.
Start reviewing it and be familiar with the process that we go through.
All right. Any other old business from Plan Commission? New business. We have a guest.
Yeah, I'd like to introduce, this is Tim Graff. He's the new, in charge of, he's taking care of our stormwater department, and he's employed out there by the Soil and Water Conservation. And that's what you do that for the county?
Yeah, I'm the assistant conservationist for Adams County Soil and Water.
Yeah.
So I'm in charge of all the education programs like Splash Day that's coming up and all that fun stuff.
So he'll be overseeing, a lot of the stormwater issues for us, like in these subdivisions and erosion control and the permitting process when they disturb over an acre or 5 acre plots of ground, stuff like that.
The city entered into an interlocal agreement with the county to make use of Tim's services, and in light of the fact that it appears that the city's probably not going to be hiring a city engineer anytime soon, one of the responsibilities that Nate held as city engineer was to oversee the stormwater department, but also to provide assistance to the plan commission with regard to stormwater matters as site plans came before you. Tim's going to step in and kind of assume some of those responsibilities. So we appreciate very much his willingness to help out, and hopefully it will work out well for everyone.
And I think I've talked to Tim, and he also has been out to Nate's office and has went through paperwork out there, and he's familiar with the city's layout and what we have promised the environmental people, item, what we are going to do, and Tim's familiar with that. So, and he's also been, I don't want to speak for you, Tim, but he's also been in contact with the person that's in charge of our area, that's in charge of item and in charge of our area. So,
yeah, we actually had a meeting with that individual, and you know, she was helpful in terms of trying to provide some direction and some of the things that we need to be working on, because eventually there's going to be an audit. They're going to actually come to the city and take a look at what we have in place. So, you know, I think that was helpful, that meeting, and it gives Tim a little bit of a heads up of things that he needs to be focused upon, at least with regard to the stormwater management, reporting, and record keeping.
Okay, and just so that I understand, Tim is going to be reviewing subdivisions and site plans to make sure that they're in compliance with all of the drainage requirements, the same way that the fire chief would be looking at it for fire, and he would be the equivalent of a department head on that review. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So before we would see information, for instance, on a new subdivision or an extension of a subdivision, he would have been one of the people that reviewed it.
It would be routed to Tim.
And questions would have...
If he had any questions or concerns, he could make comments upon that.
Okay. That was a very valuable resource that we had when Nate was the city engineer and on staff.
Right.
Especially for that type of that drainage with the...
Exactly.
Yeah, that was...
And I think Tim's got a background that will lend itself to that. Correct. I said you have a background that lends itself to providing those type of services.
Yeah, I have I graduated from Ball State with a natural resources degree, but I know about soil erosion, water quality, water erosion, no engineering background, but...
And we may have a small developments also. I'm thinking right now is the Walgreens store. When they came into play, there was some concern about drainage there, and they put a little retention area behind Walgreens. So Tim may help us on that type of thing too, to make sure that, you know, if you put a big lot in, that we have proper runoff of a lot. If a big structure is put on and you've taken up space for parking, you may have to help us on that to make sure that we're not throwing a great deal of water out into the city streets also.
Okay. Did anybody have any questions for Tim?
It just sounds like, from what I've read and heard, that it's a win-win for the city as well as the county. It's the thing, so.
Yeah,
It's
so...
working out all right. I mean, he's just been absorbing. He's just been absorbing at this point, yeah.
Yeah, you're still drinking out of the fire hose.
Try not to get overwhelmed.
It sounded like
Well, on behalf of the Plan Commission and myself, welcome to the team as we move forward and take Decatur and Adams County into the future. Any other new business? Any information from the plan or the building department?
We have nothing other than this on the docket for, you know, kind of waiting on Ideal, them to submit the proper...
So that means we don't have another meeting scheduled.
No.
To clarify a point with the city attorney, do we need to have a meeting to officially organize once the last three
No,
placements are official?
no. I mean, if you want at the next meeting, you can ratify and approve the actions taken at this meeting for election of officers, but you have a quorum. Everything was done in accordance with your bylaws, so you're fine as it is.
Okay.
One thing that is going to be probably announced at the council meeting tonight is the DNR is going to have a public meeting on the wetland thing out there
Yes.
with the new
Nature preserve.
Nature Preserve, and that public meeting is going to be on February the 8th. I don't know, didn't have to bring my paperwork in.
Actually, I would encourage all of you to attend and hopefully voice your support for that project. What prompted that public hearing is apparently Mike Miller, who lives in Stratton, not Harold's son, but another Mike Miller, has raised his opposition to that and voiced it to the DNR, so because of that, DNR is now going to hold a public hearing.
I don't know if there's opposition to it or if they just actually think they need more information, so I don't know if that's
Yeah.
kind of the gist I got from it. But
Will that
be at the Riverside?
yes, it's going to be at the Riverside Center. Let me go get that paper. I'll tell you what time it is.
So is the project on hold pending that?
No, we're moving forward. We think, the issue is because DNR, we have a grant from DNR, because this was raised, they now want a public hearing to get more public input. Not sure why, but because we had public hearings on this where the public voiced their support for this project way back when.
Yeah, it's going to be at 5 o'clock around February the 8th.
Okay. What day of the week is that, Roger?
Any 2017 calendar?
In another 20 minutes, we will.
I can maybe find it.
Tuesday.
Wednesday, thank you.
Yeah,
Wednesday?
yeah, because we have a meeting the 7th, or a meeting,
Yeah, the 5th.
council meeting, I
The
think.
8th on a Wednesday, yeah.
Okay, anything else from the building department?
All I got.
Anything from city attorney? Any
No.
issues or concerns from any of the board members? Before I call for adjournment, is that anything that we need to be aware of?
If you want to sign them.
If you want to sign this,
These are the certificates
Oh, okay.
probably for Bill and Barb to sign.
make it official.
They did everybody's?
I think.
Well, this would have been from last Tuesday night, or
Right.
from last council meeting.
Right.
Or we can do the ones that are... Oh, this is just the mayor's here. No, there's Dennis.
Those are just their copies then.
Those are just their copies?
Have you already signed these?
Not the new one. I have signed one previously.
No, that's fine. That's all you're
Oh,
going to
okay.
sign. These are just copies, I think, that they're passing
Leave
out.
that in there for Kenny. That's the mayor's one.
All we have to do is sign it, no dates or
Is that
anything.
the mayor's one or no?
That's
Steve.
Stephen Tate,
That's
yeah.
Steve's off. Keep that.
Keep it till
You don't have to sign anything on that. Those are just copies for you. You've signed a certificate already,
Give that to
correct?
Steve.
I don't think so.
I don't remember that. All I signed.
No, I think these need signed.
Let me go ask
You
her.
go grab Phyllis
And dated.
ask her for,
I did on another board,
Clarification.
but I didn't for this.
No, this would be the new. Yeah, you haven't, I don't think
Well,
anyone,
I am on a
no, I mean,
housing
new,
authority, I
new
did.
planning commission.
Yeah. Don't think I have.
Okay, if you haven't, then yes, you do need to sign it. I thought all they were your copies.
okay, we'll just take a minute and clarify that again to make sure that
Sure.
we eliminate that gray area that you love so much.
Should be relatively simple.
We don't have to do that
Yeah.
within the realms of meetings, official business, do
No,
we?
no, you can adjourn.
Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Meeting stands adjourned.
Okay, tell us that, if you could sign them, and then she'll get your signature on them also. Just sign them and turn them back to me.
Tim, whenever you have time, I'll go out there with you sometime too. You can give me a call.
Yes.
They get turned into Phyllis.
We'll go out there and I'll make sure that